Something's wrong. Engines are already blowing up. Teams are already sweating bullets. And guess what? The season hasn't even started yet. Welcome to Barcelona, where dreams go to die, and for some Formula One teams, they just did. The first preseason test of 2026 was supposed to be a warm-up, a tune-up, a low-pressure chance to shake off the winter and get some laps in. But for some teams, it was an absolute disaster. While the strong teams quietly stacked lap after lap, like a well-oiled machine, others were breaking down, literally. Mechanics scrambling, engineers shaking their heads, and PR teams trying to spin disaster into data collection. But the truth, some teams are in real trouble. Let's start at the top. Red Bull. Red Bull are starting 2026 with a brand new engine partner. Honda's gone. In their place? Red Bull powertrains, with Ford's name slapped on the side. Is it just a badge? Or is Ford actually helping with the hybrid system? No one really knows. But what we do know is that building a brand new Formula One engine is not easy. And it shows. To be fair, Red Bull's early numbers looked solid. Nearly 400 laps across their two teams in just 3 days. That's rare for a rookie engine. And officially, everyone's all smiles. The work done by Red Bull Ford powertrains has been impressive, said Racing Bull's CTO Tim Goss. As a complete rookie in Formula One, completing almost 200 laps on the first day, it's easy to overlook this level of reliability. But it shouldn't be underestimated. Sounds great, right? Except, something's not right. Whispers started to spread. Then came the leaks. Under the surface, the Red Bull engine was overheating, badly. And the testing temperatures in Barcelona? Just 10 degrees Celsius. That's cold. Cold by F1 standards. Now picture this. If the engine is cooking in winter, what happens when we get to Australia? The season opener there had temps around 30 degrees Celsius, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, last year. And then Bahrain comes right after, even hotter. This isn't just a small issue. This could be a nightmare. Red Bull's customer team, the Racing Bulls, had to completely rethink their car's cooling. That huge airbox above the driver's head? It's basically a wind tunnel now. Louvers cut into the bodywork, desperate to get more air to the engine. But here's the problem. More holes mean more drag. And more drag means less speed. You can fix an overheating engine, but you can't cheat physics. The scary part, if Racing Bulls are struggling this much, what if Red Bull's main team is just hiding their issues better? Either that, or the Racing Bulls completely screwed up their cooling design. Either way, that's a big red flag, and they're not alone in trouble. Next, let's talk about Audi. The big-name German brand finally entered F1 this year. Sort of. They took over the Sauber team, rebranded it, brought in new management, new staff, and yes, a brand new engine of their own. On day one of testing, they showed up on time. That's more than can be said for some teams. But then came the breakdowns. Just 27 laps on the first day. Nico Hülkenberg had to stop on track early on Wednesday with 0 flying laps completed. The problem? A hydraulic leak. Not a big deal by itself, but combined with the lost time, it's worrying. Even though they got Hülkenberg back on track later that day, 68 laps total, Audi's test was far from clean. James Key, Audi's technical boss, tried to keep things calm. What we really needed to do is just get laps on the car, he said. Our colleagues on the power unit side have got no track reference data at all. This is the first time they're actually going to get track data for their power unit, and for the gearbox as well. He added, it's a very, very immature car still at the moment, but nothing particularly surprising. Sounds like classic damage control. But a peek at the lap times showed Audi were seconds off the pace. Sure, Lap times don't mean everything during testing, but they don't mean nothing either. Then we get to Cadillac. Oh boy, they're the true newcomers this season. Not a rebrand, not a takeover. A full-blown new team. And they're finding out just how hard Formula One really is. Despite some early hype after their private shakedown at Silverstone, reality hit hard in Barcelona. After just 33 laps from Valtteri Bottas on Monday morning, Sergio Perez could only manage 11 laps in the afternoon. And by Tuesday, they weren't even on track. Same thing Wednesday. Perez tried to stay positive. It's our first day, so it's been positive in that regard. You want all the problems to come now. Bottas was a bit more honest. Obviously, performance-wise, I wouldn't say much yet, but the main thing is, we get some running done. These are the first steps of debugging. Debugging. That word alone tells you everything. While other teams were testing cars, Cadillac were testing how to even be an F1 team. And that might be the biggest problem of all. If you thought Cadillac's problems were bad, buckle up, because somehow Williams might be in worse shape. Yep, the same Williams team that finished 5th in last year's championship. The same team that clawed their way back from rock bottom. The same team that said they were ready for a new era. Well, they didn't even show up. That's right. While the rest of the grid hit the track in Barcelona, Williams were missing. Not a single lap. Not a single car on track. Just radio silence until 3 days before testing began. That's when Williams finally confirmed it. They would skip the entire first test. Now, in Formula One, skipping testing is like showing up late to a race. You're already behind, and there's no way to catch up cleanly. But somehow, Williams tried to spin it as a good thing. In a statement, they claimed they could have gone to Barcelona, but chose not to. Why? Because they didn't want to compromise the start of the season. Apparently, the new car, the FW48, hadn't passed all the final FIA crash tests, especially for the nose box. Chief James Vowles called the decision incredibly painful, but also tried to justify it. This car is 3 times more complicated than anything we've put through our business before, Vowles said. We absolutely pushed the boundaries in certain crash tests, but those were a blip in the grand scheme of things. A blip? Missing 1/3 of preseason testing is a blip. Let's not forget. The last time Williams missed a preseason test was 2019. It was a complete embarrassment. The team spiraled, finishing at the bottom of the championship, with memes made about them all season long. But sure, maybe this time will be different. Maybe. Vowles said the team made the decision to skip the test after comparing the cold, damp conditions in Barcelona to the value of doing virtual track testing, or VTT, back at their factory. He stood by the choice. Frankly, there were 0 points for running in a shakedown test, Vowles insisted. It's to make sure we're turning up to Bahrain correctly prepared. There's only one problem with that. Bahrain is coming fast. And, by the time they get there, Williams will be hundreds of laps behind everyone else. No data, no track time, no idea how their new parts will hold up in real-world conditions. In a season where the rules have shifted, the engines are new, and teams are reinventing their cars from the ground up. That's not just risky, that's dangerous. Sure, Mercedes, who supply their engines and gearboxes, have been doing testing. And sure, Vowles is hoping that data will help. But you can't simulate everything, and you definitely can't simulate pressure. Williams planned to give the FW48 its first on-track debut during a filming day just before the Bahrain test starts. That means the first real test for Carlos Sainz and Alex Albon will be against the clock. No margin for error, no fallback plan. And yes, The Williams of today is a lot stronger than the team that collapsed in 2019. But this move, it feels like playing with fire. Vowles is betting that long-term gains are worth short-term pain. "I'm confident we won't be behind," he said. "But the clock is ticking, and you don't get second chances in Formula One." So, now, the big question. Who's really in trouble? Is it Cadillac, the brand new team learning everything from scratch, just hoping to finish races? Is it Audi, the mighty German brand whose engine is still untested and whose car is seconds off the pace? Is it Red Bull powertrains, who might be hiding a ticking time bomb behind that overheating engine? Or is it Williams, who didn't even show up? Every one of these teams had issues. Every one of them has an excuse. But excuses don't win championships. And when the lights go out in Melbourne, none of these teams will be able to hide anymore. This preseason test didn't just show us who's fast. It showed us who's on the edge, who's desperate, who's already scrambling. And that's why this isn't just about reliability. This is about survival. So now it's your turn. Who do you think is in the deepest hole heading into 2026? Is Cadillac in over their heads? Can Red Bull solve their heat problems? Is Williams secretly doomed again?